Diving is, it's supposed to be about exploring this incredible new world. But for a ton of beginners, that journey stops just a few feet below the surface. Today, we're going to talk about the single biggest thing that stands between a new diver and their certification: ear safety. And you might be surprised to find out that the solution isn't just about what the student does, it's really about how the instructor teaches. So let me just ask you a question. Think about it for a second. What do you think is the number one reason a brand new diver has to call it quits on their very first descent? Is it, their mask filling up, bouncing around with their buoyancy, or just plain old nerves? Well, the answer, and it's not even close, is ear pain. It's not just a common reason to end a dive early. It is the single most common injury in all of scuba diving, which is kind of crazy, right? Especially for something we are all taught how to prevent from day one. The fancy term for it is ear barotrauma, but really, think of it like this. As you go down, the water pressure is literally squeezing your eardrum inward. To stop that, you have to push air from your lungs up through your eustachian tubes to, well, push it back out. When you can't get that balance right, that's when you get pain and even serious injury. It's just a simple physics problem, but it has some very real and very painful consequences. Now, every single diver on the planet has heard this. It's the golden rule, the mantra we all chant. Equalize early, equalize often. It's simple, it's clear. So that should be enough to fix everything, right? And that right there is the big question, isn't it? If the advice is so simple and so universal, why is ear bear trauma still the number one injury in diving, especially for new people? Well, the answer isn't what you probably think it is. Here's the thing. The problem often isn't the student. It's not that they can't learn it. It's all about the environment and, more importantly, the way the descent itself is actually managed. We need to shift the focus from just what the student is doing to how the instructor is leading that descent. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's break down a few of the most common instructional mistakes that, even when they're totally unintentional, can really set a student up for failure before they're even a few feet underwater. First up, the big one, just going down way too fast. You have to remember, a descent speed that feels super slow and relaxed to a seasoned instructor can feel like a terrifying, out-of-control freefall to a brand new diver. I mean, they're already trying to remember to breathe, control their buoyancy, and just process this totally alien environment. And here's the science behind why that speed is so dangerous. The pressure literally doubles in the first 33 feet, or 10 meters. That means the rate of change, how fast that pressure ramps up, is at its absolute most intense right near the surface. Going quickly through that zone gives a new diver basically zero time to keep up. They're instantly behind, playing catch up with the pressure, and trust me, that's a game they're almost always going to lose. And this leads us right into the next critical teaching mistake. It's this all too common piece of advice: just equalize when you feel the pressure. It sounds so logical, but it is a fundamentally broken way to teach this skill. And please, please remember this. Pain is not your cue to start equalizing. Pain is the alarm bell screaming that the injury has already started. What's worse, at that point, the water pressure is literally squeezing your eustachian tube shut, which makes it almost impossible to get any air in there. So if you wait until you feel pain, you've already waited way, way too long. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got that reactive coaching. Dangerous phrases like, just push through it. No. On the right, that's the gold standard. It's proactive, it's teaching students to equalize before they feel it, and crucially, it's empowering them to stop, come up a foot or two, and try again. That is not a failure. That is the correct way to do it. Okay, so if that's what's going wrong, what does right look like? Let's actually build a blueprint for the perfect, safe, student-focused descent that puts ear safety above all else. So here it is, the 4-step blueprint. First, you have to control the pace, especially in that critical first 15 feet. Second, coach proactively. Don't just teach the old pinch and blow Valsalva method. Teach them the Frenzel, where you use the back of your tongue to create pressure. It's gentler, it's often more effective. Practice them on the surface. Third, watch for the subtle signs like wide eyes or fidgety hands. And finally, number 4, make this the automatic reflex for everyone. Any problem at all, you go up a little bit. You ascend, you don't push. And great instruction builds on top of that. It means using a descent line so the student can control their speed. It means encouraging them to keep their head up, which actually opens up the eustachian tubes and makes it easier. A good instructor is also managing anxiety and what we call task loading, so the student can actually focus on their ears. And you know what? It starts before you even get in the water by simply asking, hey, does anyone have a cold or feel congested today? All right, so let's pull all this together. What are the biggest things you need to walk away with, whether you're a student just starting out or a seasoned pro? If you're a student, listen up. Your instructor is your guide, for sure, but you are in charge of your own body. You have the final say on slowing down or stopping the descent. Do not ever feel like you have to push through pain to keep up. A good instructor will see that signal and respect it immediately. And for all the instructors out there, the message is really simple. You have the power to basically eliminate this injury from your courses. By slowing down, by coaching proactively, and by putting your students' comfort and safety way ahead of the clock, you're not just teaching them to dive, you're teaching them how to be safe, confident divers for the rest of their lives. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Look back at your own training, or think about the way you teach. Was the main focus on getting the skill done, on checking a box, or was it on building a deep foundation of safety that's going to last a lifetime? Because when it comes to your ears underwater, there's absolutely no room for compromise.